Hey guys, I hope everyone's day is going well. Today I'm going to be doing a review on this yo-yo right here, which is called the Autopilot. This is actually a really sweet monometal yo-yo that performs very well. I'm super excited to be doing this review for you guys, so without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright, so first things first, I gotta give a quick shout out to Sean Collins. He is actually the designer of this yo-yo right here, and he sent it to me for free, so I gotta give a shout out to him. His Instagram and contact information will be in the description down below, so be sure to check that out. Now, as with any of my reviews, we're gonna start out with just the basic specs of this yo-yo, and then we're gonna move on to talking about the design of the yo-yo, the playability, and then I'll wrap it all up. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the specs of the Autopilot. So first things first, this yo definitely isn't like super regular in any dimension. The diameter, width, gap width, and weight are all pretty standard for a yo-yo in this day and age. However, it is made of 7068 aluminum, which is a more premium grade of aluminum. I love to see companies use this premium grade of aluminum because the yo sounds awesome, and it also allows you to kind of change the play of the yo a little bit more. Now, let's talk about this sweet design here. So first things first, we can look at the profile of the yo. It's a really interesting, very nice and curvy H shape, as you guys can see. This is a really, in general, a very nice shape. I'm a big fan of this kind of shape where it's got kind of like a very pronounced rim right there, and then a really concave slope down to some very low walls. You can see how it really scoops down right there. There's a couple little subtle cuts here and there that lead down to some very low walls in the middle. I'm a really big fan of this kind of shape. In general, these shapes are always super comfortable to hold in the hand, and they also allow the yo to perform very well. Additionally, this shape does actually remind me a lot of the Zero Gravity Return Top's winglet, if you guys remember that yo. The shape is not kind of as extreme and pronounced as that one, but it actually does remind me a little bit of that. Now moving on over to the cup, we can see that we got a very thick rim right there, so this definitely be a more rim-weighted yo. And then it's really just one straight cut down to the center where we have a spike in the middle. So that's a very pointy little spike. What that's gonna allow you to do is do some matador tricks, and I'll show you guys later on in the video what I mean by those. But in general, the cup is super simplistic. It's real clean, just that one little cut right there, and then the spike in the middle. But yeah, overall, I really like this design. The shape is tried and true, it works really well, and it also fits really great in the hand. And the spike in the middle is gonna add a little bit more center weight to balance that extreme rim weight that you can see there. Alright, but now we can talk a little bit about the play of this yo. So first impressions of this throw, it's really sweet. It definitely is a very long spinning yo, but here's the thing, it's a little bit more on the fast side. I found this yo to be very nice and maneuverable. It could change direction very quickly, and I didn't really have to put in too much effort to get it moving at a really fast pace. So in general, I was very pleased to see that this is a lighter yo-yo, kind of one that plays a little bit more floaty on the string, a yo that kind of whizzes across the string naturally without you really having to try that hard. So as you can see here, I was able to do a lot of my super fast tricks with not that much effort, which is a nice thing to see. However, although this yo is super fast, it also has a ton of stability. So as we mentioned before, the rims of this yo are just so thick, as you can see, but I think that the kind of spike in the middle balances out that center weight and allows us to have a very nice weight distribution. So this yo is definitely not overly rim weighted at all. It feels really nice on the string. However, it's also super stable. It feels very forgiving, and it actually spins for a lot longer than you'd expect when you're doing your longer tricks. I found that the response system with this yo was pretty good. When I used a normal thickness kitty string, I did have a little bit of an issue with it not coming back to my hand, but then when I switched it on over to a fat kitty string, I actually found that the fat string worked super well with the yo itself and the response system. It came back to my hand after just about every single bind. It felt very solid and complete, and so I definitely would recommend, if you're using a yo like this, be sure to put in some thicker string, maybe kitty fat or kitty XL, and it's going to work with the response pads really well. I just found that when I used the normal thickness of the string, I was running into some issues. But overall, once you do put in that better string, regens and binds and all of that is super good. The yo performs really well with those, and you can do some very consistent and extreme binds. Now moving on over to grinds, this yo is phenomenal. It's got a very smooth matte finish all around the yo, which makes it super easy for finger grinds. And even further, when it comes to finger grinds, you can see that because of this very flared out shape, there's a really nice spot to put your finger in for a nice long finger grind. Really, all the other grinds are great. Thumb grinds, talon grinds are all perfect because there's a nice little lip there to lock in. And then finally, finger spins are very good as well. You do kind of just rotate around that middle spike there, but besides that, you can still do a finger spin for a nice long time. And as I mentioned before, you can do matador tricks, and that's in which you kind of pick up the yo by the spikes and do cool tricks with that. It's not the easiest thing to do. I'm not the best at it, but as you can see here, I'm kind of able to hold the yo in my hand just a little bit, which is pretty cool. So the spike definitely works for those types of tricks. Alright, so that's about it for my review of the Autopilot. And I would say that in general, this is a really good Autopilot yo-yo. For those of you that don't know what Autopilot yo-yoing means, it's kind of when you just kind of let the yo-yo flow and do whatever tricks you really want to do when you're not really concentrating on it. But this is a great yo-yo for Autopilot. It definitely has a nice and fun feel to it. It's not a very stale yo, it's not boring. It binds really solidly, and it also feels really great on the string. It's got a really nice shape for any the more complex and strenuous tricks that you want to perform with it. So in general, it's kind of like the yo that does it all. in general, I was super impressed with this design. It really works well for this yo-yo, and this feels like a very complete package right here. I'm really excited to see if Sean Collins comes out with any other yo-yos because I definitely want to check those out. Alright, and that's about it for my video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and also if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. It's free and you can always change your mind later. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.